But it is like literally a big influence, and it's like right up front in your face here because like a lot of people give shit like to like Greta Van Fleet for sounding like Led Zeppelin, or Kingdom Come from the '80s that sound too much like Led Zeppelin.
I am Jason Myers from the band Icarus Witch, and you are listening to the Krash Kourse Metal Show, featuring Trevor Crash Knight, the next generation's voice of classic heavy metal.
What is good, guys? Today we are going to be doing an album review, and it is going to be to the band Zombeast and their 2024 album Heart of Darkness. All right, so first and foremost, Zombeast is a band that is more on the horror punk and metal side of things. But I got an email the other week, pretty much a couple weeks before the album dropped. So this dropped in the middle of May, so almost a couple weeks now. And I listened to the first single, I believe it was. It was The Cycle, and also Red Ripper. And I, at first and foremost, like the Danzig and like AFI type influence was uh very in the forefront. Like you could definitely tell that they had influences from these type of bands like that. And it just grabbed a hold of me right away because obviously, as people know that have followed the channel, I'm a big Danzig guy, top three artist of all genres of mine. So this was pretty much love at first listen, if you will. So first, let us jump into who the band members are. So first, you do have Mario on vocals. You got Jared on guitar and bass. You got Alex Young on guitar and bass as well. And then you also have Kyle Smith on drums. So you do have a that is the album lineup. Now they do, I think, go out as a 5-piece live. I will have to say, like, because all I heard was because I didn't know they do have one release. Like they did form in 2004, 2005, I think, and only put out an EP and an album, if I'm not mistaken. But then they disbanded shortly after that in like 2009 or something around there. Don't hold me to that. Just that's what I kind of gathered from just like following them like the last couple weeks. But nonetheless, they've been kind of away since 2009, and they just came back with a brand new effort here. And I had to say it. I didn't wait that whole time from 2009 to 2024, but if you were waiting that whole time, I think this is certainly worth the wait. Uh, but first and foremost, let us go over the packaging here. Really cool cover. I mean, kind of not basic, but like nothing really as far as like just kind of like popping out other than the actual like artwork of the skeleton here. You know, the flesh and everything. Heart, and then the heart is obviously Heart of Darkness is the title with a dark heart. But yeah, and then here's the back. Now, this is the I got this one here because I at first I was a little worried because I was like I was looking at some shipping, like I couldn't get it in America here in the USA uh without it being shipped from Europe at first. So I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to pay like all that shipping and everything like that. And I then luckily on Amazon, I seen it that they had it, and also I think Best Buy had it as well, that you could order it. So I ended up just getting it off Amazon.
But like, how much or something?
Didn't have to really pay any shipping and just paid for the record, obviously, with Amazon Prime. But yeah, so this is the red version. I think they do have a black version, and I'm not sure if they have a third option or as well. But either way, I went with red, limited out of 250. It looks like, but very cool. Looks good on the turntable as well. And then you do have a little, like, little piece here, just with the lyrics, with the band as well there on here, and just something to read, something to look at while you're listening to the album. So let us jump into the album here and see what they kind of really have for us here. And because like I wasn't exactly sure because like I am a fan of Misfits, but like I'm just not a big fan of punk to begin with. And because I was kind of at first a little worried, I was like, oh, are we gonna be getting kind of like real heavy punk? Like I can do, like I said, I like Misfits, but as far as like going any deeper into the punk genre, I don't really visit that subgenre or genre very much. And but I will say this is more to me more on a horror metal side more so than a metal punk. Now don't get me wrong, there is the punk influences in here and everything, and you get like the Total Misfits uh element to it, but you also get the Danzig and Sam Hain even a little bit of sorts here too. And that's what's so cool because like Mario sounds not just like Danzig, but it is a very good correlation, especially with a couple of these songs. Not every song he doesn't sound the same, but there are some songs that are really Danzig like, as far as vocal deliveries and such. But like I said, the two singles were Red Ripper and The Cycle. But out of the two singles, those two, I would certainly take The Cycle. That's one of my favorite tracks on here. Really good guitar solo. And that's the other thing, too. The guitar solos on here. Because like when I think of punk, I don't think of guitar solos. But when I listened to this album and even the singles before I got this album, I was like, I don't know if it's going to be a straight punk feel because I was hearing guitar solos in like The Cycle and Red Ripper and everything like that. And then when I listened to it, it only confirmed that this isn't like a straight punk type sound or deal or record to begin with. And so you do have good guitar riffs, good guitar solos, so that's a big plus for me. That's another reason why I really dig this album. And you know, it's just because like I went to go see Danzig last year, I guess, in Atlantic City with Behemoth and Twin Temple and such, and that would have been really cool to see Zombeast a part of that. I would be interested to see if even Danzig knows who Zombeast is. Like, out of everyone, or out of like a lot of like all the metal that I've come across and stuff, like this is the closest thing that you're gonna get to a Danzig. And I don't like to compare an album or compare a band to like another band and talk about that the whole time. But it is like literally a big influence, and it's like right up front in your face here because like a lot of people give shit like to like Greta Van Fleet for sounding like Led Zeppelin, or Kingdom Come from the 80s that sound too much like Led Zeppelin. And at the end of the day, I'm like, that doesn't bother me at all. As long as you're doing like original stuff, you're putting your own spin on these songs and on just what you guys are doing. That doesn't bother me at all. I like to hear your influence in the record and in the songs and the music. That does not bother me one bit. And if anything, that makes me like you guys even more, because you really show who your influences are, but still kind of doing your own thing at the same time. And that's what we get here with Zombeast.
Hell yes.
But so you do have 10 tracks. We'll jump into the album here. Well, you do got 10 tracks here. First off, Devil's Whore. You got a good intro here, or just like a build-up intro to the song. And, you know, this one here, you can tell right away Danzig influence. Yeah, and very good song. Then you got Red Ripper. Like I said, the weaker of the two singles off of this album, but good. Call of the Wild, third track, another kind of heavily, like I could hear Danzig writing something like this. You know, there's a couple of these songs, like I said, they had very heavy influence from like AFI, Danzig, and even Slayer to a very a certain extent. Kind of get that thrashier vibe on some of these songs as well. But you know, at the end of the day, a lot of people do like to say thrash metal came from punk, or a big element of it came from punk. So you got Torso coming up here on the fourth track. I would say this is, so far, I would say this would, out of the first four, this would probably be the weakest one for me, but still good. I still, for me not really enjoying the song that much, I still remember the guitar solo. So there is something worth listening to on this song as well. and then you finish off side A with the other single, The Cycle. Really good. They do have a music video for that, so I would certainly tell you to check that out. First things first. And then you got starting off here side B, and that is Heart of Darkness, the title track. Really good stuff. Now I would say here, Cold Embrace, very good. Another very Danzig kind of feel to it. Because like there is I think this is the one where it's somewhat mid tempo. There's only like two mid tempo songs, and we will get to that here with the last track. But I do like when they kind of slow it down a little bit on some of the songs here, and just so go with a slower tempo. It's not slow, but it's more mid tempo. But when you're talking going more of a fast pace, punk style fast pace, or a thrashy style fast pace, then when a mid-tempo song comes on, you're like, okay, yeah, this is certainly slowing down here now. But no ballad or anything really like that. The Witching Bell, really good, really atmospheric. This is a good atmospheric song as well. A couple of these songs are really atmospheric though too at the same time. Night Demon is the ninth track. I would say this would probably be my second weakest track. I would say Night Demon or Torso is the two of the weak links on this album. Not too much weakness to go around though, I will say. But I would say out of the 10 songs here, if I had to take two off, those would probably be the two. And then you finally end it here with Dark Path. Very good, slow to mid tempo type song here. With this song though, I really enjoy how they brought the bass out in the song. The bass tone is really good here. Chunky style. So they even isolated at one point in the song. But yeah, really cool, slow style, atmospheric type Danzig stuff. Like even like on Danzig 4. Just that kind of slower atmospheric stuff that Danzig did. Even a couple albums after Danzig 4 that he did had that kind of feel to it, and that's what Dark Path kind of gives you. It's a good way to end the album, but like I said earlier with Cold Embrace and Dark Path, I would say, but more specifically, I would say with Dark Path, I would maybe add another one, another mid-tempo to slow song in here as well. Bring out Mario's voice a little bit more, I would say, and maybe do something a little different with that. And just to break up the album a little bit, as far as not so fast and heavy, or so fast and thrashy, or punky, like 8 straight tracks, and then you got, Cold Embrace and Dark Path to kind of, break it up a little bit. But I wouldn't change Dark Path as being the final track, because I think that is a good closing track. I wouldn't want to put it anywhere else, but just like I said, when I'm listening to it, that's the only thing I could say is like, sometimes in this album it does blend slightly the songs. Nonetheless, very good album. I recommend it for anyone that likes Misfits, Danzig, AFI, early stuff kind of stuff. That I don't know, good guitar work too throughout, good bass tone too, like I said, especially on the final track, Dark Path. Great vocals from Mario. Great drumming. This band is really good. Now, like I said, they have somewhat been around, I guess you could say, since what is almost 20 years now. But with the on and offs, and they took a hiatus and such like that after the first album. But it feels like they didn't really miss a beat. I am quite excited to see what the future holds for Zombeast, and I really enjoy the influence of the Danzig influence. That's you guys had me like right there from the start, just because of that when that first single came out, or when the cycle came out. After that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to pick this up one way or the other. Just because of like we're not getting too much Danzig or Misfits or Sam Hain stuff anymore. Sad to say. And this Now, not a straight copycat or anything like that, but it does help fill that void of if you're a big Danzig guy, then this will certainly satisfy any kind of craving that you have for new Danzig stuff, or at least hold you over anyway until that day comes again when Glenn wants to release something. But guys, that is Zombies. Heart of Darkness came out just a couple weeks ago, May of 2024. Please check it out. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed this. I was impressed with it. Every track, like I said, the first two singles I heard before picking up the album, and I was impressed. But as when I got the album, I just kept getting more and more impressed. And I listened to this album at least probably 15 times now since release day, and it's only getting better, or it's not getting any worse. I'll say that it's not getting worse. It's having staying power with me, and it's not just like, oh yeah, yeah, it just reminds me of Danzig stuff. And no, they have their own feel. Alrighty, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think of Zombeast, and also too what you guys picked up recently. And stay out of that collateral damage, guys. Thank you for watching. And if you guys like Danzig, that type of metal, click this video right here.